It is that time now once again, for getting lumped up with my friends. It's RockerMike and Rob that you should know, and you'll find them here on the Rock Show. Ooh, yeah, on the Rock Show.
Hello, people, and once again, we are here with a Rock Show special, but nobody is dead. It's just an album review show today, so don't be afraid. We're not doing a special that somebody passed away again, but somebody in the freaking entertainment industry passed away. The guy from Quad and Lib.
Dean Stockwell.
Lib.
Dean Stockwell.
Yeah, I guess he was a
great
actor.
Yeah, he was around for a long time. That guy.
Was he the bad guy in Battlestar Galactica?
No.
He always reminded me of that guy.
That guy I think was a little heavier, but I see the resemblance. But no, he was not that. But he was in
Quantum Leap. I remember him.
He was in Married to the Mob.
Yeah, Married to the Mob was a fantastic movie.
He always played those kinds of roles. But in the '60s, he used to play like hippies and stuff too. He's in a great movie with Jack Nicholson called Psych Out.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Late '60s, yeah. But yeah, all right. So today's show is a special rock show. And like Rob said, nobody died. We had too many deaths this year. But what we do have is 2 album reviews, 2 brand new albums that just came out by Sonny Vincent, a friend and guest on the show several times this year.
Yeah, he's a friend of the podcast.
He's a friend of the podcast. Great guy, and we're going to talk about him. And Duran Duran. Yes,
yep.
that Duran Duran. Okay?
Yes.
They are back with a new album, and it's doing well on the charts. And go ahead, Rob.
Let me ask you a quick question. I'm trying to get the Lunatic tickets, but you know the band Fonzie?
Yeah.
Chris Jericho's band?
I know of them. Yeah, I'm not.
April 11th, they're playing Irving Plaza.
Oh,
should I get 2 tickets?
Fucking A! I'll go. Why not? We'll bring the podcast down.
Fucking shit on them when we
we'll bring the podcast down and shit all over them. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna start with Snake Pit Therapy.
Right, Sonny Vincent's new album.
I think it's a fantastic album.
Yeah, it is.
It's like it takes me to the old school. You got like songs that are between a minute to 4 minutes, nothing longer than that. Easy to listen. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean it's really like a perfect rock and roll record. Sonny is one of these guys that he has this, like, he's probably gonna laugh when he hears me say it, but he's got this kind of like aura of mystery about him, okay? Because he's kind of like a total throwback. He not even a throwback. He was there, okay? Sonny is like the bridge between, 60s garage rock and proto-punk music, early 70s, late 60s, to, what came out of CBGBs in the 70s, and Max's and clubs like that around, in New York. And he's just been doing his own thing in his own way for more than 50 years. And I just find it like unbelievable that he's unrelenting. He does not change. His voice sounds great. You could listen to stuff that, he's most probably well known for the band Testors, though, that's just a portion of his work. Okay. His vocals do not change. The album just came out 2021. Sounds like the same guy from the 70s, early 70s.
It really does.
Yeah.
It was really good. It's easy to listen. It's about 15 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all good. I think the longest song might be this last song, which runs at 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
The song Forest, yeah. Now, let me just show you guys what the album looks like. This is the CD that Sonny was nice enough to send me. Snake Pit Therapy. There's the back. Okay. And inside you got like a nice, and I love when, albums and CDs come with the lyrics.
Oh,
Okay.
that's fantastic.
That's what you want. All right. Now, I want to give a little history of Sonny because he's one of these guys that you might have heard about, but don't really know much about. You might have heard the name. He's played with everybody that you can think of, especially in the punk scene and New York underground music scene, the Detroit music scene. I mean, it's just I want to give a little kind of overview. All right. Okay. So now he was born in 1952 in New York City, and he's had dozens of releases and recordings since the mid to late 60s to now. All right. You go on Wikipedia and you look him up. I mean, the list of the discography is huge between singles, full albums, EPs, compilations, all kinds of stuff. All right. Now, like I said, he's like this bridge between the 5 or 6 years before punk broke to now. Okay. And it's just like an amazing listen when you listen to all his music. He's played with everybody from Bobby Stinson of the Replacements to Mo Tucker. He played with Mo Tucker, the drummer from the Velvet Underground, for almost 10 years.
Wow.
Okay. And most famously, of course, was Testors, and he formed that band in 1975. They would play CBGBs, they would play Maxes. They did shows with the Cramps, Mink DeVille, Suicide. He toured nationally with the Dead Boys. Began a friendship with Cheetah Chrome, who he's played with in various lineups at various times. Okay. He after the Testors broke up, he moved to Minneapolis, where he connected with the scene there in the early 80s. And bands like Husker Du, the Replacements were big. And he played with all those guys. He played with Bobby Stinson after he left the Replacements in a band called Model Prisoners. There was also another band put together when he was in Minneapolis called Shotgun Rationale. That was with Cheetah Chrome and Greg Norton from Husker Du. Eventually, he would relocate again in the early 90s to LA, and then again to the Netherlands, Holland, okay, where he had a band called Sonny Vincent and his Rat Race Choir. And that band was an amazing lineup with Scott Ashton from the Stooges on drums, Cheetah Chrome again, and also Captain Sensible from The Damned was in that band. Right. Now, after that, he would connect with Mo Tucker from the Velvet Underground on her solo career. Sterling Morrison, formerly of the Velvet Underground as well, was involved with that. And he dedicated about 9 years of his life to this lineup, okay, with Mo Tucker. Played with her for a while. After that, he's had several bands, recordings. He's worked on re-releasing most of his back catalog. One particular collection is his pre-Testors stuff. He was in a band called Distance, a band called Fury, and a band called Liquid Diamonds prior to Testors, which formed about 1975. So you're talking early 70s and late 60s, early 70s. And it's amazing stuff to listen to. He was really ahead of the curve on everybody. I've had several conversations with Sonny on the side of being on the show. And, I've made the mistake a few times of being like, oh, well, you were influenced by the Stooges. No, he did this shit before the Stooges. Okay.
Wow.
He was playing this kind of hard, rock. All right. It was just pre-punk kind of stuff, really before anybody. All right. And it's really an amazing listen to all his music. Now, this album, Snake Pit Therapy, just came out in September. It's on Svart Records, Svart, Svart Records, out of Finland. All right. You can go to their site, svartrecords.com. Check it out. Yeah. Well, it's a small label. So he got on that. Like you said earlier, it's 15 songs. And basically, if you like, we concentrate a lot on punk rock on the Rockshow. If you like 70s punk, bands like the Dead Boys, proto-punk bands like the Stooges, the MC5, and even melodic kind of hardcore like Husker Du. Okay, this is an album for you. You have to have this album. Okay, plunk down $15, $20, whatever it is on Svart, and pick it up. Amazon might have it too. You could check there. Now, again, the sound on this album is not new for Sonny at all. He's been making this music pretty much before anybody. And, you know, you got to get this CD. It's available on vinyl and CD, and there's different options for the vinyl. You can get different colors. I believe red and blue and whatever. Okay. Wow. All of it's pretty badass. You know, it looks great. Out of the 15 tracks, my favorites are probably the song The End of Light and Stick, which there's videos for both of those. You can see them on YouTube. The End of Light.
It's a fantastic song. I love that song. That's a great opening song to start
with. Stick you're talking about? Yeah, it is. It is. It just I mean, the album is relentless. It's just kick-ass from the beginning. He recorded this album mostly in Florida with ex-Corpse Grinder Paul Blackguard, okay, on drums. Paul actually gets a like additional production credit on the CD. Sonny is the full producer for the album. You had Jack D'Angelo playing bass. Other musicians on there include Alex Schwerz on drums, Tim Chaplin on bass and guitar, James Garner on bass and guitar, Jimmy Wrecker on bass, Joao Pedro on drums as well. And like I said, there's a complete book of lyrics inside, and a great picture of Sonny, who looks like he doesn't age at all. Great picture. Okay. I mean, he looks about 30 right here, and we know he's a little bit older than that. And before I forget, one thing that you might want to look into is his new book, Snake Pit Therapy.
Wow.
Same title, all right?
So
and what it is...
Did that come with the album, or they're separate?
No, it's separate. Okay, you can get this on Amazon. It's a nice little read. It's about almost 100 pages, and it's just a great book of memories about situations, stories, people he's met, particularly Bobby Stinson. There's a nice chapter about him. There's some little bit of poetry, mostly just memories and stories. It's not a memoir. It's not a book and dramatic in any way, but it's just a cool remembrance of certain times in his life. It's really worth a read. I like it a lot. Get both. Support Sonny like that, and that's all I got for you.
Let me tell you, but these songs, you know what other song I love? The Japanese Mofo. I thought was good.
Japan Mofo.
Japan Mofo. Sorry.
yeah. Great song. That's
a great song. I thought it was again another good song. And you know what's great about this album? It's like a real it's like an old school rock and roll. I mean, just not even punk. It's just good music. Like, we don't have stuff like that anymore. Like,
no, and it's very Sonny's an anomaly. There's not too many people making this kind of music anymore. I wish that would. I think that's going to turn around. And we've talked about this. How I think the world's ready for a big rock and roll revolution.
I think you're right. I think you're 100%
but
right.
This is something that it's just great to listen to. It's heavy. It's not too heavy. It's melodic. Okay, it's catchy, and great guitar work. Sonny plays a mean guitar as well. The vocals are great. He can sing. It's like a perfect record, and I'm considering it for album of the year. I mean, I'm thinking about that.
I was thinking of maybe calling him and see if we could make the Messed Up in Blue our opening song.
Messed Up. Oh yeah, that would be a good theme for the show. Maybe for a new season. Maybe for a new season next year. I'll talk to him about that.
See if we can talk to him. See if we can put that song as an opener, like at least the first 30 seconds. Yeah. I got
everybody out there, get this album. Okay, Sonny Vincent, Snake Pit Therapy. Again, I'll show you. Okay, It's worth it. You pay 10, $15, $20 for it. It's worth every dime. You'll be listening to it all day.
You know what I do? I put a link to where they can buy the album in the podcast, and I'll put it also on the
Svart Records.
That thing, yeah, the Smart record, right?
Svart, SVART.
Send me the link to that now, because I want to make sure I get it.
I will.
Right.
I will.
Because I put that as a link, so if people want to buy the album, support the artist, you know what, you can get the album, and the album's probably doing good overseas because people love that old school kind of freaking music.
Well, that's true. Okay, you might question, why is he on a label from Finland? Well, to be honest with you, the Europeans and these small labels, especially in the Scandinavian countries, love rock and roll.
Yeah.
All right. They like a lot of that heavy metal stuff too, like that death metal. But they also love the stuff that Sonny's doing, which is just pure rock and roll.
Yeah.
And it's obvious why he's on that label.
Yep. And now for the second part of the show, Mike, we're going to review the new Duran Duran album, Duran Duran Future Freaking Past. And pretty much a lot of the guys came back for this album. And can you believe it's the 40th anniversary of Duran Duran?
Yeah. I mean, this is your favorite band. You've always said that. You've always been insistent it's your favorite band.
Yeah.
And, what'd you think when you first heard this record, Rob?
You know what's funny about this album? And it's very weird because the album took me back to like 81, like MTV, watching MTV, hanging out, and Duran Duran and MTV technically started the second British invasion.
That's true. I mean, a lot, in the early 80s, a lot of those English bands were coming here and taking over the charts. That's true.
The charts, they were taking over the chart, and the album actually doing pretty good. But the first track, Invincible, is very good. All of You, Giving It All Up, pretty all good song. They even team up with some other people. Anniversary, and then the title track, Future Past, is also very good. But you listen to this album, you just go back into that, like new wave, whatever mentality, and it's like you don't hear music like that anymore. And they fucking old, and they're rocking out. Yeah. It's a fantastic album.
How was Simon Le Bon's vocals? Did they fix them, or
his voice sounds like a little more like adult, like he's like a man.
The little bit that I listened to it, I didn't hear any auto tune.
No, I don't think the auto tune.
No, they didn't do any of that shit, right? Good.
No, I don't think they did that.
No, good. I would have turned it off if I heard that.
Yeah, no, but this album has been this album, I think it compares to the album Real. If you love the album Real, you're gonna love this, because Real had all the hit, On My Way,
Hungry Like the Wolf, right?
And it was a great. So it's almost like a throwback album. Like you can listen to it. Sit back, enjoy the songs, and it's an easy album. Just like it's not like Sonny Vincent, like it's rock and roll, but this is like poppy, new wave. It's poppy music. What the fuck can you say about it?
Well, what's funny about Duran Duran is my experience with them back in the day. I wasn't a fan, but my little sister was, and I had to listen to it. Being played in the house and whatever, and all the stuff that went on with the girls loving the band. But I always thought that, number one, they were kind of cool guys. Okay. I mean, they definitely were getting the girls. That was given. Okay. But they had even though the music didn't show it, they did come from Birmingham, which is a working class British area. I mean, Black Sabbath came from Birmingham, and I think they have a kind of rough and tumble, personality about them that I kind of always thought was okay. I felt they could have been a much better band if they tried to maybe rock out a little more. But over the years, I've learned to like some of the songs, some of the singles, "Hungry Like the Wolf" and stuff. When I hear it, I'm like, it's just like a good pop song, It's just a good pop song. I don't mind it,
Years ago, I got lumped up with with John Taylor and fucking
You
Western Hall.
you told me this story one time you told me this story when we were lumped up. I remember.
Yeah, so this one day I'm in Webster Hall, I'm doing something, and I go to the guy, Jesus Christ, you look like John Taylor. I am John Taylor. I go, Duran.
and you screamed like a bitch, right?
I was like, oh shit, let's get a drink. And then the drink led to this and that. And then
Oh
like,
yeah, I know the story. I heard the story.
I need to sober up.
Took you 3 days to recover from that night.
It was insane, man. We had a good time, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I was looking at the album. They look the same, these guys. Just a little, little older, but not much. Older. Yeah, at least they got their fucking hair.
I think they said that if they ever break up, they'll lose all their hair. They'll be bald and fat.
Oh, but yeah, I guess that's the only thing keeping them going, keeping them looking good is keeping them going.
That's like us, man. We keep going. That's why we look so good.
Oh, yeah.
So Mike, well, you were talking about that. You were also leading on that other album for Record of the Year. Also, you're torn between Sonny Vincent and another album.
Okay. Yeah. There's another band. Yeah, I'll bring it up. It's okay because we're gonna work out something. We're gonna talk about these albums anyway. For the year-end show. But yeah, there's another band called Amol and the Sniffers from Australia.
That's a great name.
Yeah, it's Amy L. Amol, okay, and the Sniffers. Fucking great. They just have this new album out now called Comfort to Me. That is, this. I think it's they've had a couple albums out. I'm thinking it might be their third album or something like that, or fourth. I have to check.
Yeah.
But they're coming around in December. At Williamsburg Music Hall, and then they're coming around again in May. They're doing a full American tour next year. Wow. And I want to go see them. I'd like to get them on the show. I'm reaching out to them. I've been really trying to reach out to a lot of people for all the shows, different interviews and all that lately. So, that band just came out with this Comfort to Me album, another album I highly recommend. But let's not forget Sonny. That album with Sonny this year was fantastic too.
I think that definitely is one of the best rock and roll albums of that I heard.
It's one of the best albums I've heard in quite a few years. I'll be honest with you. New music.
There's any chance we can maybe get Sonny Vincent to come on the show and do one or two songs like acoustic?
Oh, I don't know. He's a busy man. I'll talk to him. He'll watch this show and
got like a half an hour, do a quick show, introduce the album again, and
I'll give it a shot. You never know. Yeah. I mean, the winter's coming. Maybe he's not going anywhere. So who knows?
All right, RockerMike. So, how do people get in touch with you or get connected to you if they want to talk to you?
Okay, I'm all over social media. You can find me on Instagram, RockerMike212, RockerMike212. I'm also on Clout Hub and MeWe under RockerMike. Facebook is RockoMike. RockoMike is my personal Facebook page. And then you have the Rockshow podcast group page featuring RockerMike and Rob Rossi, me and you. And that's a group page. We're very active on that. Sign up, join that, check it out. There's stuff every day on it.
Yeah, the members are very active too. A lot of the members put new stuff up all the time. If you go on it, it's pretty fascinating how much stuff people put on that page. And everybody's pretty cool.
I'm also still looking for suggestions for shows for next year. This week we got some really interesting ones. I'm not going to say what they are, but some very interesting ones. And actually, two of them tie together in a way that, how we always manage to do that somehow? Yeah. I don't know how, that magic connection, okay?
Yeah.
It ties in like that. So I'm thinking of using those two. But we need 4 shows all together. So everybody, private message me or put it on the Rock Show group page, your suggestion for a show for early next year. It'll be 4 shows all together. That'll be fan requests, 2 in January, 2 in March. And then February, we're going to dedicate, of course, to Black History Month, which we always do.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw the replacement. We got that video did very good on YouTube. We got 1,400 hit.
Good.
1,400 viewers. You know what?
Very quickly too.
For this little show that comes out of nowhere, we like the last couple of weeks we've been killing it. Even the Hookadoo show did 9 with three people away from 1,000 views.
Yeah, right. Hookadoo and Replacements, both from Minneapolis. I guess there's a lot of fans out there.
Yeah, so we did that show, and you know what? It's picking up slowly but surely. It's picking up. You know?
I agree. You follow the numbers more than me, but every time I look, I'm always excited what I see.
I'm a number guy. You want to hear something? So our biggest podcast right now that we did without a guest or something was the Conspiracy 42072, the Samuelson Ungermeyer.
The Sam Untermeyer, the Untermeyer Park. Yeah. Well, that Conspiracy 420. Yeah, that was the Roots of the Son of Sam show that we did. Yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah.
We're going to be returning to that very soon and more conspiracy stuff as well.
Yep. We got a lot of stuff going on. So 2022 is going to be an interesting year. We got so much stuff, so much work we're doing going forward. And the format is changing for the new year. It will be now every month will be 2 conspiracy and 2 rock shows. So that's the new format for 20
January.
And I think what we're going to do will be 1 rock show, 1 conspiracy, 1 rock show, and 1 conspiracy. So every other
that's how we'll do it. Keep it interesting. Yep.
Yeah, so we're talking about different things. We're stimulating the minds. We're trying to open some people's eyes too, because there's a lot of close-minded people in the world now that they need to get their eyes open. You know.
Got to open it with a can opener. Some of these people. They just don't get it, Rob. They just don't get it.
Oui. All right, people. And on that note, remember, don't get drunk.
Get lumped up.
See you next week.
Take care, people.
The only podcast you will hear that will be music to your ears. You'll learn about bands you love or may not know, and it's only here on the Rock Show. Ooh, yeah, on the Rock Show. Ooh, yeah, on the Rock Show. So tell your friends and everyone you know. Let's get lumped up on the Rock Show.